And now joining me in the studio, the lovely, the delightful, or so I'm told, Paul Feig. Paul,
hello.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm good.
Good. Do you have a pen I can borrow?
You know what? It's actually, I had a pen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Moments ago.
I know. We'll
and
get
now
one
it's
back.
gone forever.
There
I like
you
that.
go.
I like that you go in on the attack
Yes,
to throw
exactly.
me off.
See, exactly.
That's a technique. That's
yes,
a power
then
move.
I lay back and
That's
I
it.
see
Now you have control
right,
of this
that's
interview.
right. I am now in the catbird seat.
Well, I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Paul,
yes, sir.
you're a man of many talents. Director,
Yes, some would say.
producer, actor,
Occasionally.
creator of beloved television shows and other things.
Exactly.
Author.
Yes.
That's
some
true,
some
right?
would say.
Yeah.
I know my publisher would agree.
But to me, the most interesting thing about when I was reading about you, and I did several weeks of reading before.
I'm sorry.
The most interesting thing is that you were on. You acted in the first season of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
I certainly did.
And you played a character. Can you tell me about your character?
I was the biology teacher, Mr. Poole, and they asked me, what would you like your first name to be? And because I'm a comedy genius, I said Gene. So I was Dr. Gene Poole.
They actually went for that.
They went for it, see?
What year was this?
This is a 1997.
This is Melissa Joan Hart.
Yes.
Played a teenage witch.
Yes, she did.
And named Sabrina.
Sabrina.
And you were her biology teacher.
Teacher, yes.
She was in high school.
Yes,
Right.
she was. She
Okay.
was. And there was a talking cat on the show.
Oh, that's right.
Voiced by Nick Bakay, for comedy aficionados.
I don't know Nick Bakay.
One of the funniest men around. So.
Also has voiced a cat on Sabrina.
Well, there you go. So how could you not be that?
So tell me about that experience. I mean, first off, was this a dream of yours? Had you been thinking,
Yes.
I want to get on the Sabrina the Teenage... Now, Sabrina the Teenage Witch was originally a film, right?
No, it was a comic strip.
Oh, it was a comic
Or a
strip.
comic book,
Okay,
I should say.
okay.
A graphic novel, as
Right.
the kids call it these days.
I don't think it was.
It was
I don't think they ever had a graphic.
Well,
graphic novel is like it would be a compilation,
Oh, that's
perhaps,
right.
or a storyline.
That's right. It was a graphite novel.
But you...
And that's the kind
I
of
know,
jokes
that
that you
is.
get from Mr. Poole. See the heat.
But how did that happen? And can you tell me a little bit about your experience being in a... it was kind of a children's
show.
It was kind of a children's show.
It was
right?
not kind of a children's show. It was a
Yeah.
No, it's I was an actor. I've been a regular in like 4 other TV series that all got canceled in their first season. Dirty Dancing, the TV series.
No, that didn't exist.
It did.
You were in it?
Yes.
You played the Swayze character?
Yes, of course I did. I played Baby. Actually.
Wow.
No, I was. You're not old enough to remember this.
How do you know
but
how
there
old
used
I
to.
am?
Well,
You
I
don't
don't
know
know
anything
because you're a
about me.
youthful-looking man.
Thank you. That's totally uncalled for.
You are.
I appreciate that.
But no, there used to be like they would make like the Partridge Family cartoon and the Brady Bunch cartoon, and they'd always add like a dancing panda or like a singing bird, and that was me on the show because I was a character that was not in the movie. I was.
You were a bird?
Norman. Yes, I was. I should have been a bird. I was Norman, the comedian bellhop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
So you were like a new character.
I was a highly licensable new super character.
What network was the Dirty Dancing show?
It was on CBS, I believe.
Okay. How many episodes?
How many did we go? I think we went 13 or 18, but I got this job.
That's actually a lot of episodes.
Well, I mean, not for American television back then, but it was almost a full season.
Right.
But it was the first time I got to be a regular on a TV show, and I got it, and then a writer's strike happened that shut down the town for 8 months. So I had a job,
And
I couldn't do it.
you couldn't write. They
No.
couldn't be like, hey, you know how to write,
Yeah, that's
don't
right.
you?
You're on the show.
You would have
Can
been
just write your
crossing
stuff?
a picket
Yeah, I
line.
would never do that.
Yeah.
So I sat around, and then it finally came out.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Not Sabrina the Teenage
No,
Witch.
no, I'm taking. I'm just taking my own
I'm actually
topic
far
now.
more interested in Dirty Dancing.
You should
Did you
be.
have to dance in it?
They tried to get me to dance, but I refused.
Was it you refused to dance on the show?
No. There was a scene it was Patrick Swayze. No, not Patrick Swayze. It was Patrick Cassidy.
I thought you were going to say Patrick Stewart.
No, it was Patrick Cassidy played it, and then Melora Hardin, who I actually ended up much years later directing on The Office, because she was Michael's girlfriend for a long time.
Yeah.
But they were doing a sexy dance, and they had a reaction shot of me in the doorway, and the director's like, pretend like you're into that, and you're kind of dancing with them and getting turned on. I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Getting,
exactly.
I like the getting turned on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't
not
going to
just-
be like, oh, hello.
You're not just dancing. You're not just into the groove. You're actually sexually aroused.
Well,
by
I'm dancing dirtily.
right.
We're saying on theme,
Was it all Dirty Dancing in the show?
It was
Did
all
it have
filthy
to be?
network, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night
They're
dancing.
like, if there's a clean dance on this show, we don't want
We
it.
go down.
We don't
We
want
totally
if a person
go down.
if they're solo dancing, it should be masturbatory.
Exactly.
So
that's
Dirty Dancing didn't
yes.
work out.
Right. Then there was Good Sports with Ryan O'Neal and Farrah
Okay.
Fawcett.
Tell me about that.
That was Ryan O'Neal, the amazing and slightly wacky Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah, there's a reality show with Ryan O'Neal, isn't there?
Oh, I think there is now.
Ryan and Tatum.
Let's just say this: that show was the subject of a True Hollywood, behind the scenes. What is that? The scandal-filled
One of
shows.
those, some
One
version
of those
of that,
things, exactly.
some combination.
True Hollywood story.
Yeah.
And they interviewed me in that.
About this show.
About Good Sports. It
Okay.
was a little
It was
volatile behind the scenes.
Sports themed.
Yes.
What can you just give me a basic outline?
It was Ryan O'Neal was a former baseball star who was going to be a commentator on this network.
Oh, I like the setup.
And I was Leash. I was the guy in charge of him, but I was a goofy character.
Oh, I see.
And then comedy
Interesting.
baked. It rose.
This is again has nothing to do with Sabrina, really.
No, of course not.
But-
No, I'm winding you through my my resume.
No,
Josh.
I like it. The digression is incredible.
Exactly.
actually. We're gonna get back to like your birth.
Oh no, totally.
I'll
that
never
is
forget,
coming because that was caught on film.
that
and,
You actually auditioned. You had to audition.
oh yeah, I almost lost the part.
But anyhow, so you were the biology. You were the biology teacher.
Yes.
All right, let's just move on.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares about that.
So tell me, you've done all this stuff. Do you have a preference? Is there one thing that you love more than all of the others?
To do?
In terms of like acting, directing,
I like directing.
producing, you like directing the best.
I got to push people around.
Can you see yourself just being a director, just forever until you until you die?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, I always write, and I'm very involved in the writing. And some things I actually write myself, and other things I have these amazing writers I work with.
Right.
But no, I like it. It's as an actor, I was very limited. Let's just
Right.
say I only had so many skills.
But and the director is really the boss.
yeah,
and you're in
movie
control.
making, definitely.
Right.
You are the main storyteller. In TV, you're sort of the facilitator of the writers who
Right.
write these great scripts, and you can make it better. But you also, when they say like, "No, I want it this way," then you go, "Okay, that's fine."
Is there any person when you're a director that you can't tell what to do? I mean, besides like I assume the producers.
Well, I
Maybe
mean, the
producers, I
studio.
don't know.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, you are as a movie director, you are occasionally fighting everybody. I was lucky on the last two ones I did that everybody was pretty cool. But no, I've fought some Pyrrhic victories in my time.
Yeah.
You know.
Didn't.
No, you win and you're like, well, nobody hates me, and,
Yeah.
and it wasn't worth it to get him in a red shirt.
So director would be your preference.
Yes.
You'd like to die directing.
Yes, but not anytime
Yeah,
soon.
the scene ends and they look back and there's a skeleton hanging on.
Yes.
Sitting at the director's chair.
But I'm run over by a crane, and they go, he would have wanted to go that
that's
way.
how- that's-
And I never, when I say he would have wanted to go that way, I don't think I would have wanted to go whatever way
How
they
would you-
think
how
I
would-
would have
how
wanted
would
to
you
go.
wanna go?
Just quietly in my bed, asleep.
Asleep?
Yes,
You think
not
so?
like Dick Shawn. Remember the comedian Dick Shawn?
No.
Oh, I'm so old.
Dick Shawn sounds like a made-up person.
No.
It's
a mad, mad world.
The beginning of a joke.
Man, exactly. That's right.
You know Dick Shawn?
That's right. But he died on stage. He was performing, and he was a funny guy, and he had a one-man show, and so he collapsed on stage,
Yeah.
and people were laughing for like
It's
2
like
minutes.
Red Fox. This happened with Red Fox.
Oh,
right?
did it really?
I think he had because his thing was I'm going.
Oh,
he used to do his
the
heart
big one,
attack. It's
Elizabeth?
the big one.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
then
that.
I think he actually. This could be an
I
urban
cannot be-
legend.
I
I
can-
might be propagating an urban legend.
Did he
right
die
now.
eating Pop Rocks? Was that
No,
it?
he
Okay,
had Pop Rocks and a soda, and then
That's
people thought he was doing his bit.
Right, and then he died in Vietnam.
That's
right.
You grew up in. That's very good. You grew up in the Midwest.
Yes,
I mean, is
Michigan.
Michigan the Midwest?
It's
I mean, we say Midwest,
Well-
but that doesn't feel Midwest.
all
to
of
me.
we hipsters on the two coasts
Yeah.
is basically like it's L.A., the Midwest, and then New York.
Right,
So
right.
it all falls into that. But I mean, Michigan is very Midwestern. There's a Midwestern sensibility, I guess. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not cowboys, and we're not
No Michigan Cowboys.
Well, there's Milligan. I don't know where I'm from. There's Michigan militia.
Oh
Try
yeah,
to say
right.
that
right.
fast.
Those are
sort
people
of-
who are preparing to fight the
Yeah,
government.
when the hammer comes down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you know any of the names of the militias there?
No, I don't, because I'm afraid to know anything about them.
You don't want to get too
I don't even
involved.
wanna get
You don't
it.
even want to research them on,
No.
on the internet.
I got a weird tweet from the Westboro Baptist.
Baptist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like to me, like watch my clip or something. It's like, why me? And then I went to see if it was like a mass emailing. No, it was just me. So
Wait a second. Somebody, I don't understand. Somebody from the Westboro Baptist Church.
there was something I had said
Messaged
something.
you on Twitter, or
I
they
said
sent you-
something they considered liberal or pro-gay and something, and then I got this thing. It felt a little like
Well, the Westboro Baptist Church, they're awful people.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they're just the worst.
yeah, I mean, it couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
And yet they tweeted me.
They're tweeting. They retweeted you.
No, they tweeted me. If they would have retweeted me, that would have been cool.
See the heat. It stands for everything
Exactly.
that the Westboro Church represents.
They're awful people, but they love that turd joke I put up on Twitter. So that was
Turns
kinda
out
good.
they're weirdly open to scat humor.
Yeah, well,
You wouldn't see that
that's
coming.
You know, there's Hitler was a nice painter.
Hitler was a
Exactly.
vegetarian.
Was that what it was?
He was a. I don't think he was a very good painter, though.
That's okay.
He was also nice to his dogs.
Yeah, see, well,
That's
there
what you hear.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
true.
wasn't all bad.
So somebody's trying to put a spin. That's
We're
called
gonna edit that. We'll edit that out.
That's called the ultimate PR. That's called the ultimate publicist who
Yeah.
handles Hitler and gets him good press.
Yeah, no, that's the one
That's right,
thing. That's
really.
what you hear. He was a vegetarian and he was nice to his dogs.
There you go. That House of Lies.
Get that going.
That kind of
I mean,
thing.
that going for him.
There you
so
go.
you grew up in the Midwest.
I want to continue on this
you,
Hitler thing.
you grew up in Michigan.
Yes.
Tell me about, was it a middle class, kind of like very American
Very
upbringing?
blue collar. My dad owned an Army surplus store, so
That's awesome.
It was cool.
Did you have a ton of amazing Army gear when you were a kid?
I got to play with it all. I mean, that was like the store was my playground, but also it was hell on earth because at the age of 5, my father made me work at his store.
Really?
So I was child labor.
That's illegal.
It is illegal, and he made me
Technically.
work. I had an entire career before I was 18.
And this was in an era when, this was so long ago. This was in an era when an Army-Navy store would be, or an Army surplus store, you could actually get really dangerous stuff there, right?
Oh,
I feel like now they've been neutered somewhat. You can get like a camouflage jacket.
Well, it's all kind of gone, but this is the day. I mean,
But-
it's kind of coming out of Vietnam.
yeah,
It was
like
all
in the
that
80s,
stuff.
but in the 80s you could go in and get
Oh yeah.
grenades and
Yeah, imagine what you
knives
could get in the 70s. I mean,
Yeah.
it was all fresh from the army, from there.
and they're like, we're not using this anymore.
Yeah.
Here's a bazooka.
My dad's old cot cover from when he was in World War II. Exactly.
Is a bazooka a real weapon?
Yeah. It's
is.
the
I said it, and I
the
like it.
stinger of its day,
Okay.
if you will.
Okay.
More of a,
It just didn't sound real when I said it. It was a like you'd call a weapon a bazooka.
I know, it does sound silly.
It sounds like something that people came up with in the 40s when nobody knew anything. And they're
That's
like, what should we call that? And they're like, I don't know, bazooka? it makes a loud
It's
noise.
friendly.
Yeah.
If I was going to get killed by something, a bazooka wouldn't be so
What
bad.
can we yell when we shoot it? How about bazooka? All right. So let's talk. So the reason I was asking about your upbringing,
Yes.
you created the show Freaks and Geeks, wildly popular.
Well,
now.
Exactly.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Wildly popular now, not popular in its time.
Mm-hmm.
How many episodes did you get to do?
18 episodes.
18 episodes. Then it
Exactly
was-
the same as Dirty Dancing.
and I think there's a connection there. And Freaks and Geeks had a lot of Dirty Dancing on it.
Well, it certainly did, behind the camera at least.
But it got canceled.
Yes.
What it was on NBC.
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 We had the honor of being the most weeks the lowest rated show on NBC.
Right. Do you think? But it's very beloved now.
Yeah, now
People
it-
love that
it
show.
just keeps
I was
going.
actually watching it last night. I wanted to refresh it
Oh.
in my mind.
Thanks.
And the thing that struck me most is that it is in standard definition. It does. It's
it's
not
3x4.
It
Oh, no.
is, and it is jarring.
Yeah.
You just keep thinking, what's happening?
No, it's like watching
on
through
that?
a keyhole.
Yes, it is.
Like-
It's incredible what we tolerated
I know.
during the Freaks and Geeks era.
I know. But I hope they just stretch it so everybody looks a
It's
bit
not- at
wide
some
and
point.
horrible.
Boy,
yeah.
everybody's so fat on it. They really aged badly.
Honest, on that front, I did a pilot not that many years ago, right before Letterboxd took off, and they were doing things, but they wouldn't let us shoot it. They made us shoot it on 3x4 because they would occasionally get letters from one or two guys who had like a big screen TV and they got really mad, or no, a small screen, that they got mad that it was, they put the bars on top,
Right.
so they felt they were being ripped off from their entire tube.
Oh yeah, no, my father would rather watch.
Yeah.
He would rather watch something without the
Oh yeah,
the letterbox because he feels he's getting more.
Yeah.
Even though he's not.
Right. Well,
He's old. He's older though. You can't really hold that against him. So do you think? But do you think so? TV has really changed though since Freaks and Geeks was on the air, and obviously people love it. Obviously, I mean, I think a lot of people consider it to be one of the best shows ever put on television.
Well, it's nice. I mean,
No, it's a fact.
Okay. I'll take it.
Accept it. Do you think it would have? Do you think that show would have had a different story in this day and age if it were on? If NBC had that show today?
I do think it would have, because now the business model is kind of, if you get an entire season, then people will binge watch it,
Right.
when they might not necessarily watch it the first season. So I think we were so critically acclaimed. I bet we would have at least got another half season.
They would have given
the
it
DVDs kind of
a chance.
up.
A
Yeah,
chance. Yeah.
exactly. But
so does that make you feel? I mean, obviously you're having tremendous success in film.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about your film work in a little bit.
No problem.
several hours later, we were going to get to your.
I still got the rest of my shows to go through.
Yeah, no,
and then I was on a show called.
Yeah, what? Do you have another show?
Of course I do.
I'm sure
I have
whatever,
4 other
I'm
shows.
hoping whatever you say is going to be
The Jackie Thomas show was Tom Arnold's show.
Jackie Thomas.
The Jackie Thomas show.
He played a character named Jackie Thomas.
Yes, he did. He did. And it was on after Roseanne, and we premiered. It's the #2 highest rated show, and we were canceled when we were the 14th highest rated show. So I think we were.
What was the cancellation? What was
people
the
didn't like Tom Arnold at that time.
Really?
He was very much.
Was there something
reviled.
going on with him? And
It just he had married Roseanne Barr, and she was the most successful person. And I love Tom; he's the greatest guy.
Right.
And he just was unfairly accused. We got canceled, and then he had True Lies, and suddenly everybody loved Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
interesting.
Go. It's called the Feig luck.
Once again,
Bit of the Feig luck.
you're right there before the time was right for Tom Arnold.
Exactly.
But then.
I'm the launch pad.
Yeah, you really are.
I'm the kindling that you light
You
to light your rocket.
I mean, really, you may, for all we know, you may have kickstarted all of modern television with
That's
Freaks
right.
and Geeks.
Yes. Well,
And you've reaped very few of the benefits.
None whatsoever.
Almost none. No, but you have done a lot of TV. You've done a lot of directing
Yeah.
on TV. Besides your very deep acting career,
Yes.
which goes back several hundred shows.
It certainly does.
Several hundred failed, weird shows. But you've directed a ton of television.
Yeah.
You've done, you did an episode of 30 Rock, more than one?
Yeah, no, just one 30 Rock.
What happened there? They didn't want you back, huh?
Oh, Alec Baldwin's a delightful man. Yes, exactly. No, it was fun, actually.
Is he hard on you?
He's fine.
Did he leave nasty?
He's fine. I believe the
nasty
quote
message?
was, "You got to knock it off with this Truffaut shit, man."
Really?
Yeah.
He did. Did he say that?
He said it, but he was.
So
joking.
you have a real
He might
beef.
have been
You have
joking.
a real beef with Alec
He might have been.
Baldwin.
No, I certainly do not.
This is real.
No, I certainly do not. I love the man. I think he's.
He
one
will
of the
take
most-
action on a beef.
Trust me, I know.
I don't know what that.
But-
I'm sure that means.
You ever had action taken on your beef? Just. Hi-oh. And
God.
it's those jokes. Okay.
The Heat in theaters. No.
The heat isn't here right now.
It is.
It's
hot
rather
in here.
warm.
Am I drenched? I feel like I'm
No,
dripping.
you're good. We're just glowing.
Okay.
It's good.
We'll edit that out.
Oh, come
So, but
Warts
The
and all.
Office. You did a ton of episodes of The Office.
Yeah.
Arrested Development.
Yep, did a lot
Another
of those.
show, really killed in its prime. Brought back to life.
Yeah.
What's your take on the new season?
I have not seen it yet. I've been
You haven't seen
literally
any
out
of
on I've been out on tour for 4 weeks, so I haven't got to see it.
Do you feel like do you feel you've been left out of the new season?
Of course.
Does that upset
How
you?
dare they? How dare they not use it?
So you've got a beef with.
Oh yeah, I've got beef with everybody. No, I love those guys. I honestly, I love those guys so much.
Yeah,
They're-
but you haven't had time to watch these.
No, but I will.
So you directed an episode of Mad Men,
Yes.
which is a very kind of a departure for you,
Yeah.
unless I'm mistaken. But you've done a lot of comedy.
Yeah. No, it's very true. I mean.
Well, and the episodes from the first season.
Yeah, it was the
called
one
Shoot?
where you call Shoot, where she becomes a Coke model and then she's shooting at the birds, the neighbors,
She
pigeons.
is-
She being Betty Draper.
Oh, January Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shooting
I
at
always
the
think of her as
pigeon.
Betty Draper.
And did they? And what was the? How did that come about? How did you end up in?
It
Mad
got
Men
sent to
set?
me. The pilot got sent to me, and I thought it was fantastic. And Matt Weiner, it turned out he was a fan of Freaks and Geeks, and so he wanted me to do one. And they were very, very nice, and it was fun. I had a great time. I mean, that's where I got to befriend Ham and John Ham.
not
John. We
Not,
call
a,
him Ham.
not a ham.
We call him Ham. Yeah, that's right. I
I never had ham before I was on the set of
and it was
Mad Men.
wonderful. The sandwiches that came around were amazing.
They probably do have great.
Yes,
catering.
exactly. But I mean, that cast was so great.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
But how do you feel? I mean, is drama something that you're interested in as a?
No, but I face comedy as if it is drama. You always try to. I want to have a dramatic underpinning.
You'd
to
like
it.
people to be crying
Yes, I do. Exactly.
with laughter.
That's right. But you have to have like a serious story and then you make it funny. And
Yeah.
but to just tell like a turgid story where everybody's crying, it's
Yeah.
like that's not like life. We
not-
all make jokes.
No, maybe not your life.
Well, I don't want to speak to
I
you.
can't.
sir.
Yeah, seriously. So do you have interest in creating new TV shows? I mean, you've. Seems like there would be some fertile ground there.
Oh yeah.
And now that people agree that your
Doing new ones, yeah.
Freaks and Geeks was excellent.
I mean, TV isn't the greatest place that it's ever been, I think.
Right.
I think we were honestly in more of a golden age than it was back when they called it a golden age. I
Right.
mean, just think of all the shows. But it's also because they are open to the serialization of storytelling.
Right. Which I think is a better
It's a way
to
better
tell
way
a
to do
story.
it. So
And
it's
I
basically
find
giant
episodic
movies.
shows annoying.
Yeah,
You know?
and they're just not, I don't know, they're not as exciting to work on because you're just like reinventing the wheel every time. You have the same cast
It's
and
like
same characters.
Monster of the Week.
Yeah,
You know, you
exactly.
have to come up with
Yes,
some problem.
exactly.
Well, that's the X-Files was Monster of the Week.
No, totally.
Which I find very annoying because I just want to see the X-Files story unfold.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen the X-Files?
No.
It's about an FBI.
Well, no,
FBI
I have
agent.
seen the X-Files. I thought you meant like there's. I thought there was a bigger thing.
the
you were
bigger,
talking
some
about.
bigger
Yeah, like the
X-Files.
movie or
No,
something.
that was the
Right.
total-
Yes. No, I knew the
that's the
X-Files.
show, yeah.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah,
And,
David Duchovny. Great, very funny guy actually.
Oh, he's great.
Funny in that show.
Yeah.
You should work with him.
I'd like to.
Maybe
David.
a funny sci-fi. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm all.
But are you working on anything new for television? Would you be interested in doing
We're
something?
developing a few things. Yeah.
You are.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you talk about them here?
No, of course not.
Can you just tell
There,
us?
actually, no, I will say there is
will,
there is
okay.
one with a sci-fi bend to it. I like sci-fi comedy,
Really?
and I don't feel there's been enough sci-fi comedy. I mean,
There was a recent attempt. There was a show that was about a family of aliens that moved to a neighborhood.
oh, that's right.
And
What was
people,
that?
it was called something like The Family or.
Yeah, I want to be out and outer
Family
space.
Ties.
I like Gears and all Family Ties.
I don't think that's not what it was called.
The Next Generation.
No.
The Space Generation.
That would be actually pretty good.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
You're on Twitter.
Yes, I am. Not
Does that
right
seem
now.
like a hard pivot? You're on
yeah,
Twitter.
Man, I thought I'd be.
You're on Twitter.
Yes.
You have 1.3 million followers.
Yes, I do.
First off, how did you get 1.3 million followers? How does that happen?
I got in early. Here, I'll tell
Somebody
you.
give me a pen.
I will tell you exactly how it happened, but it can't happen again, I'm
Okay.
afraid. Because I came in early on it, and I was working on The Office. Rainn Wilson said, hey, if you're on Twitter, I'll tell my followers. So immediately I had 7,000 followers.
Okay.
But what happens, they put me on this thing where
You
when
were on the
sign
suggested
up-
users list.
Yes. So every day, like every
Oh
week,
my
I get
God.
5,000 more followers.
You're a reviled person.
I know,
To a
exactly.
lot of Twitter people.
I have,
The suggested users list was a highly controversial move on the part of Twitter,
and it benefited
which
me.
gave power to people like you, who would who are probably abusing it.
Oh, no, totally. So I'm in, so y'all.
It's true though. You now have incredible power. You can do
Yes.
pretty much anything you
Oh,
want.
yeah, I can, actually.
So, do you see Twitter? I mean, there are people who use Twitter as a comedy platform.
Yeah.
Guys like Rob Delaney, for instance, who's really made a career
Hilarious.
out of Twitter as a platform for comedy. Do you see it that way? Do you use it that way?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite use for it. I will occasionally self-promote on it, but I don't like to do that. I know guys.
You've been doing a lot of heat promotion.
I know.
I got a lot of heat.
And I'm suffering for it because you see the numbers dropping. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, the studio's like, can you put it out there? But to me, Twitter is being a comedy man yourself.
Yeah.
You always have the
Wow.
the notebook that you carry around and you write like funny thoughts.
I
in.
have an app on my smartphone.
Well, okay. In the old days.
Yeah. Do you carry a notepad? Do you have something?
Not anymore, no. But
What,
I used to.
You use your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's many years when I had the pad.
Yeah.
But you'd write stuff in there, and then you'd put it away, and you wouldn't put it anywhere.
Right.
Now you go like, I have a funny thought, you put it out, and if it's funny,
I do. I
you'll
actually
hear
write.
it.
I do tend to write down. I shouldn't say this because it's a great idea, but I'm going to tell you an idea I wrote down the other
wish you had
day.
that pen right now.
No, I wrote down. I did exactly what you're talking about, which is. I'll just say what the idea is. I'm not going to explain it. Jewish Terminator. So that's it. And you could just imagine. You could just figure out. Try to think. It's not violent.
Okay.
Not violent. I guess I should expand on that a little bit.
Keep
You
going.
know the Terminator has a heads-up display?
Yes.
Where he's evaluating what's going on?
So it interprets it in a more of a Jewish themed
The
way.
Terminator is Jewish.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's move on.
Wow, I want in on this.
So were you, when you were in, I mean, obviously Freaks and Geeks was based, I'm going back to Freaks and Geeks.
Man.
Are we really 23 minutes into this? It feels like it's just flying, but I'm so hot. I have a heat stroke.
Exactly. There's two of you, right?
Let's just wrap this up.
I shit my pants. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you that.
You too.
Yeah, I know. I knew it. We had that one thing.
So it happens. But well, this is sort of related to the Twitter stuff and sort of the rise of nerd culture.
Yes.
I mean, I think in some ways Freaks and Geeks is now it now makes more sense because people better understand nerd culture and sort of geek culture, which has really risen to be the dominant force in popular culture.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the movies that are the #1 movies, right? It's Superman and the Avengers and just really Star Trek, just incredibly nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
That even 10 years ago was still sort of breaking through.
No, I mean, I credit the internet for all this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
back when I was a kid, and all my geeky friends, we always felt like, are we the only weirdos out there that like this stuff? And you had no community. The minute you have the internet, you have this community that empowers you. Like the weirdest stuff you're into, there's a bunch of people that like it.
Suddenly, like it seems not only not that weird, but kind of popular.
Oh, no, then you're cool because you got this cool.
All of
group.
my weird sex stuff.
Oh, yeah,
has
exactly.
been. I thought I was the only one.
Who knew you?
Yeah,
Who
huge
knew
gas
there's other
mask.
people?
Huge gas mask
Exactly.
community.
Who like to f*** a couch. So there you go. That's right.
Oh, you're a couch.
motherfucker. My brother, how are you?
Let's find it. Let's get out of here and find a couch.
Give me a baggie and a nice looking couch. I'm all set. There were lonely days.
That is good stuff. Please stop being funny. It's making me sweat more. but do you think that Freaks and Geeks obviously was really about nerds?
Yeah.
Were you a nerd? Were you a nerdy kid?
No, I mean, I was geeky, but here's the thing: we had in our school, we had a few hardcore nerds,
like D&D, like the real deal.
Or no, like carrying briefcases around. They were kind of scuttling around.
That's businessmen.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I like at your school that they were wearing like 3-piece suits and had a briefcase.
The day when I graduated, I was given a briefcase. That was a graduation gift.
That's awesome.
And a pen and pencil.
That's an amazing graduation.
And that used to be. That was the.
Where's that briefcase now?
It's holding my iPad. So,
really?
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, exactly.
But you weren't like a really
no. We were just kind of the groupless group. You know, we kind of were into Warner Brothers cartoons and Monty Python, and we were too afraid of girls, and so we just kind of hole up at the lunch table.
That's a kind of nerd, though.
Oh no, yeah. I'm not saying we weren't. There wasn't a nerdy quality.
You were a fucking nerd, okay?
I know, God.
Trust me.
I was hardcore.
No, I don't know. It just seems like that, and there is something about in your films as well. Bridesmaids, for instance. You know, the main character is sort of a weird, nerdy outcast in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't really fit in.
Yeah.
I
like the outsiders.
even with her friends.
Yeah, the outsiders and the awkward. But we all are though. Very few people, even the cool people, I think, don't feel like they're that in it.
Really, you think very handsome people? I think they.
Well, maybe not that.
Very good-looking people, I think, don't have.
I think there's a fear of maybe when that starts to go off the rails, but it's not in their prime.
Right.
But then
there's no they're like looking around and going, I'm not cool.
No, but then...
Can you imagine being very beautiful? Not that you're not a very handsome man, but...
Thank you, Jim.
But just shocking. I think all the time, what if I were shockingly beautiful? How much easier would my life be?
I would like to know what it's like, but...
Or if I were a woman, how much easier would my life be?
But then you hear all these supermodels.
Or how much harder?
So, but all the supermodels are always like, I was such a nerd, I was such a geek
but
back
that's
in
a thing.
high
That's a
school.
modern thing.
Yeah.
Every talk show now, somebody comes on, a beautiful...
Yes.
Actress or model, and they go, I was such a nerd in high school. I think that's become a blanket statement. I think the nerds you're talking about, the guys with the briefcases, and the D&D people, the real nerds, I think if you put them side by side, there would be an astounding difference between the real nerds and the fake nerds.
I agree with you.
Don't you even suggest to me that there's
That's a
not.
profound thought. I think that's good.
I'm trying. So let's we do need to wrap up, but I want to talk a little bit about. I just mostly to get the air on in here. To be honest.
I want to keep going.
I could keep going
until
too.
We sweat.
But I do want to talk a little bit about, because you do have a film that you're now promoting.
Yes, I do.
I mean, you haven't promoted it except for a couple of times during this interview.
Yeah, I only said it once. Oh no, twice. Okay.
But The Heat.
Yes.
Tell me, just give me the outline of The Heat. Tell me what The Heat is about.
The female buddy cop comedy. There you go.
Okay.
But it's Melissa McCarthy, the amazing Melissa McCarthy,
Yes,
and the
very
wonderful
funny.
and hilarious Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
And then a cast of other hilarious people, like you saw in the clip there, Bill Burr and James.
Is Tony Hale in it?
Tony Hale is in it.
Yeah,
Tony Hale is a
Hale.
hilarious thing up front that you will not believe. And then Joey McIntyre.
Joey McIntyre
from New Kids on the Block, who is hilarious.
Yeah. You didn't see that coming.
No, I know.
I mean, who could have imagined?
Bad enough he's talented and handsome, and now he's hilarious too.
Yeah,
so.
and rich probably.
Oh, totally.
And
So we're just
KOTB.
We're all the rest of us.
So he really has it all going for him.
Yes.
He did have that gulf of like 20 years though, where in between New Kids on the Block.
Well.
And this.
He's still joking.
Now you've got. That's true. He's still joking.
Exactly.
So. This movie, though, this has been people have made a big deal about your portrayals of women in movies, and that you're not. This is not. It's not a. How should I put this? It's not a traditional. They're not traditional portrayals in the sense that the female characters are really fully fleshed out, real people.
Yeah.
That. And frankly, for Hollywood, that's unusual.
I know, that's what's so crazy.
Is it right?
So
That's a weird. People are like, "Can you believe these characters in Bridesmaids are smart and funny and
acting like all the women we know in real life?
Right?
Like, how dare they do that?
So what is it? Why did you crack this? Where's the? I mean, what is it about you that gave you this sensitivity and insight into the female condition?
Well, I'm a very feminized man. I will say.
What does that mean?
I grew up around a lot of women. I was an only child, but grew up next to a family of 8 kids, and 6 of them were girls, and they were all my best friends. So I hung out with them all the time, and then I had a lot of bullies in school. So
you were bullied?
I was bullied, of course. Yeah. How could you look at me? But I always would run to the girls and go like, okay,
that's part of the problem.
Let's hang out.
That's the bully. I know, and I understand. Believe me.
Oh yes, I know.
But in practice, running to the girls, not totally.
Yeah, but then they were fun, and we'd laugh, and I was in drama club and all the guys. So I just always knew women, and I always kind of liked how funny they were, and I was like kind of making them laugh, and they made me laugh, and it just this feeling. And then I'm watching all these movies that are guy dominated, and suddenly like the funniest women I know are in it, and they're playing just like a mean girlfriend, and they're not funny. It's like, well, why doesn't she get to be funny?
Isn't that? I mean, in some way, this may get you. I don't know if this is a sensitive subject, but Judd Apatow has this. He's actually been kind of dinged a little bit for his characterizations of women that are a little bit less three-dimensional, not the technique, but the character. He's been making 3D movies. Everybody's 3D, but the women.
Amazing,
I feel there's something to that.
I feel like
but and you and Judd obviously have worked together, know each other. Did you see this? Did you think was this? Hey, there needs to be an antidote to some of that.
No, because Judd had Judd was responsible for putting Bridesmaids together,
right?
And because he worked with Kristen and said she should do this, so he was already kind of in it. And I actually felt, because I love him, he's kind of like my brother. I felt like he was a little falsely accused in that way because he's just trying to do.
I mean, they're really.
Funny movies.
By comparison to comedies that have come before Apatow stuff, these characters are wildly fleshed out.
Yeah, totally. So I did feel kind of like, oh, this is cool. I can accomplish what I want, which is like working with a bunch of funny women and maybe crack that open, but also kind of show that, look, Judd, if his name's on something, it doesn't mean like it's all, misogynistic, which is not.
Right.
But if that reputation was there, I thought it was silly.
But did you think this is something I have to crack, or did it just happen because this is the movie that you wanted to make?
It was a little bit something I wanted to crack because Lindsay Weir in Freaks and Geeks is one of my favorite characters I ever created, and so I had other projects that had like female leads, and Hollywood would just go like, no, you can't because people won't go to see that. They always had like some reason, and you go okay, and then finally started going like, wait, why is that a reason? It doesn't make sense. They're half the population of the world.
Right.
Why?
That is a great point. Yeah. There are a lot of women in the world.
All right,
okay, final question, because we have gone way longer, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you, sir.
And more than I expected, to be honest. And you wear suits constantly.
Yes, I do.
You're a very handsomely dressed man.
Thank you, sir.
What tip can you give someone? One tip. If they want to be a great-looking guy every day of the week.
Yes.
What's your advice?
It's not about how expensive the suit is, it's about how good the tailor is. So you can buy a cheap suit, go to some guy, spend a little bit of money to get tailored, because I don't want to dress up because it's too expensive. Not an excuse. You can go to a thrift store and you can buy a suit and just get somebody to tailor it nicely for you, and then you will look like $1 million.
That is an incredible piece of advice.
Thank you so much.
Paul, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.